Hey, this is Mr. Gallo, and I am chillaxing with a capital Ch the night before the AP micro exam. And what's better to chillax with than no graph whatsoever? When we're dealing with oligopoly, the market structure for the payoff matrix, we have the game theory matrix here, and we got to know how to analyze it. So hopefully we remember Ed's bakery would be the numbers on the right. Ed's reads across. So we compare the numbers across. We've got Sue's sweets. Sue's is on the vertical here, so we compare her numbers vertically. And her numbers are the first to the left. Okay, so let's take a look at Ed's bakery. The numbers in here almost always represent profits. Don't put it past AP to somehow bring into account like pollution or something like that that's a negative where lower numbers are better. You just never know. 99% of the time it's profits in here, so we'll go with that. If Ed's opens in the east, he can do 400 versus 300 in the west for this scenario, so 400 wins. And for this scenario, 650 is better than 600. So Ed's has a dominant strategy of opening in the east. Okay, off to a smoking hot start here. Sue's sweets. Well, Sue's in this scenario, 700 is better than 550. However, 1,000 is better than 400. So Sue's has no dominant strategy. Okay, because here east is better and here west is better. And we always just look for where is the square with the two circles. That's our Nash equilibrium, which is right here. Okay, all right, so we've successfully analyzed the chart, determine the Nash equilibrium. Is there incentive for collusion to form a cartel, okay, and create a price fixing monopoly? Or a location monopoly in this situation. And there is not, because there is no square where both of them are going to make greater profits. Okay? So there is no incentive for collusion whatsoever. Now here is the question that they've thrown in a few times. How will it change with East getting a $200 subsidy? So let's say there's an underdeveloped region of the city. They want to encourage businesses to open in the East. So there's a $200 subsidy. Well, we got to figure out which are the East locations, which is not as easy as you would think. All right, so Ed's in the East is this 400. Well, that 400, don't overcomplicate your math, becomes 600. Okay, 400 plus 200, it's a subsidy. Okay, with the East here, the 650 becomes 850. Okay, well, what are the East locations for Sue's? Well, here, the 550 add 200 becomes 750. The 1,000, that's also in the East, becomes 1,200. All right, so there should be 4 East locations. So we've got here East and East, that's 2. Here's an East location, here's an East location. We got 4 East locations, just because I'm love to double check stuff. Uncircled are the west ones, they're unchanged. So these both are in the west. This is west, and this is west right here. Those remain the same. Now, does this change the dominant strategy? I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they may ask you, given this situation and these profits, will the dominant strategies change? Okay, it looks like Sue's would become a dominant strategy of the East, and it looks like ads would remain a dominant strategy in the East, and then this would become the Nash equilibrium. Okay, and there would again be no incentive to collude, but if you can handle that, that's okay. The other direction that they could go is the opposite and say they're trying to get more revenue from a wealthier region. They want to tax the West. Okay, well then I would just reduce the profits by whatever amount they tax. Let's say they want to tax the West $100. Then these $100 deductions would take place from 300, 400, 600, and 700. Okay, so that's a direction that they might ask you to restate the payoff matrix with that given subsidy. In general, if you see this square, you are a lucky lottery winner, because that's in general one of people's favorite things to do. Okay, remember, collusion is when they both agree. They may give you a super long statement. If both firms know the outcomes of the payoff matrix and yada, 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 and Saturn has a ring around it, and Charmin's your favorite toilet paper, then what will be, the longer they go on, the more it's just like, what's the Nash equilibrium, okay, and dominant strategies, etc. Okay, so again, it's only incentive for collusion if both firms make more of a profit. Classic AP would be for them to have a situation where one makes more profit and the other makes identical profit in a different square. If that's the case, there's no incentive to collude. I'm not going to collude just to make the same profit, okay? I'm going to collude to make an additional profit, okay? All right.